Good morning, everyone. I'm here on our special podcast today. I'm with a special guest, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Luke, and yes, I'm a dropshipper, and we're in China here today together with Mark from Speed Fulfill.
Perfect. Yeah, great. Great introduction on my behalf. It's Mark here from Speed Fulfill. We're in China, and you've been here for one day,
Yes.
almost 24 hours, right?
Yes.
How does it feel?
Well, it's crazy. We landed with the plane yesterday. You guys picked us up, and then we went to the office, and that's when you guys introduced us to where the magic happens.
Exactly.
Because there's all in the warehouse, all the dropshipping products, they're coming in and they're coming out. You showed us the whole process, and it was really interesting to see. And after that, we had a great dinner, of course, and last night we saw China like you don't see China on TV. It was amazing. Yeah.
That's exciting. That's exciting. Yeah, I'm glad you had a full Chinese experience in 24 hours, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Yeah, we had a great time and a great introduction, coming all the way from the Netherlands. And yes, I think before we talk about, how we met, we're also good friends. We had conversations over Zoom calls. And I think the listeners will be interested to find out, first of all, who's Luke and where are you from and how did you get here?
Well, I'm Luke from the Netherlands, and I'm drop shipping together with my business partner Herman. Of course, you know Herman too. And yes, we are with Speed Fulfill. You guys fulfill our products and make sure our orders will arrive at our customers. And we're very happy about our collaboration. And we thought after such nice working together, we thought it would be time to meet each other. And we think it's very important to meet the persons that you're doing business with. And so we hopped on the plane.
Nice.
And now we're here. Now we're here in China. And it's just like I said, it's just amazing. And it's really, really cool to see how everything is going. Because when you're at home behind your laptop selling the products online, you don't see all the processes that are behind everything, and now you're just on top of it. It's really cool to see.
You have all the secrets, the industry secrets
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. No, good to hear, Luke. It's a great introduction and coming all the way from the Netherlands. And then I think I'll also introduce myself just for the listeners as well. So I'll introduce myself. So yes, Mark from Speed Fulfill. Basically, I'm based in China. And I've been, for the listeners out there, I'm from Zambia, small country in Southern Africa, and I've lived in China for close to 11 years. So a lot of people would ask me, what is, a black guy, an African guy doing all the way in China, and drop shipping as well. So it's a long story, but essentially, Luke was, also surprised. A lot of guys ask, how are you communicating in Chinese? And, I wish I could communicate in Dutch as well. Yeah. So I came here for my university. My background is engineering, actually. So I have a master's in engineering. And a lot of people ask, how did you get into to being a drop shipping supplier? And a lot of people's stories started during COVID, when a lot of entrepreneurial ideas and, a lot of contemplating, because we have a story later on of what you guys did during COVID. I want to hear that for the listeners. And during COVID, there was a lot of thoughts. And one of them was I was working at my engineering job and I didn't really see a future there. Nothing wrong with the industry. So long story short, during dropshipping, I hop on my laptop and I search how to make money online. And what did I find?
Dropshipping.
Dropshipping, exactly. So I find dropshipping, and that's how I begin dropshipping, but not as good as you. I was a trash dropshipper, bro. Yeah, I sucked at it. But I the most important, people go through experiences, but I got some fundamentals, and in the position that I am today, I understand what dropshippers need, and services. So I worked with a supplier who is currently the CEO of Speed Fulfill, Bruce. You met
Yes.
Bruce yesterday. Yeah, so he was my supplier, and after fulfilling a few orders, he asked if we could rebrand the logistics into a company called Speed Fulfill, and that's how we partnered him and Jutz as well.
Yes.
Yeah, so Jutz as well is also one of the managers. And during COVID, we managed to, as you saw, start quite small and rebrand ourselves to something that dropshippers wanted. We had some customer service as our priority, and I guess that's the reason why you came to us.
Yes, of course, and it's in the name, Speed Fulfill,
Speed Fulfill.
because it's really important that your orders will be arriving on time, and because otherwise you get complaints and things like that from customers, and when you get complaints, you'll get all the hassle behind it, like payment holds because the payment providers are not happy with your services and things like that, and you really don't want that. So that's why we are with Speed Fulfill, because yeah, we think it's really important to have a reliable partner to work with, because otherwise we can't we can't do sustainable business.
Yeah, and that's one of the topics as well. We have so many interesting stuff to talk about. Something sustainable. Sustainable business is one of our main points and one of your goals with coming to China. And yeah, we're happy as Speed Fulfill that we are trying to, bring good customer service, and also a good overall shopping experience in the e-commerce space, from China to the world. We have communication, cultural challenges that we get through, and I think you had a look at our team, and we're still growing, and I think we've done really well over the years, and thanks to your support as well.
Yeah, I think it's really impressive. Like you told us yesterday, like 2 or 3 years ago, starting with 2 persons, and growing to a 40 people business now, and even trying to double every year. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like I think we had a conversation yesterday as well with Bruce, and one of the topics is like we're learning from each other.
Yes.
Like I think that's really really important, and yeah, thanks. I really enjoy conversations with you. You know that, and yeah. So the next topic, I mean, we're getting to know each other, and the listeners are also realizing one of the things is that we are. I mean, I'm relatively older, but we're still youths at least. Yeah, you're in your mid-20s.
Yes.
I'm early 30s, and we had an interesting conversation. People want to relate to your stories. Everybody went through COVID, and you have an interesting story about COVID and you and your partner Herman. How was the COVID period for you, and did you start drop shipping by then, and what happened?
Yeah, the COVID period was, I think, just like for everyone, a period where you have a lot of extra time and not much to do, because yeah, everything was closed, and in the Netherlands everything was closed too. So and all the bars were closed too, and yeah, me and Herman and 13 other friends, we were like, yeah, what do we do now? We can't go to the bar, we can't do anything, so we built our own. And yeah, I showed you yesterday. It's really beautiful. And of course, when it was COVID around, we threw parties and things like that with like way too many people for the rules. But yeah, that was what happened, and it was really nice. But also something happened was the time the extra time you had, and like we also had an idea, like, yeah, what we're doing now, it's nice, but I don't know if I see a future in what I'm doing now. So what we did was we gave the dropshipping a shot. We bought a course, a real good course. We're really happy with that. We really learned a lot from that. And yeah, we started dropshipping, and on TikTok, on the we run our most ads, and yeah, we're just trying to sell as much as possible. We had a long period where we couldn't sell anything. Yeah, we would advertise, and then we would sell only 1 or 2 products, and then the money you got from the products were spent on ads again, like many dropshippers will experience in the start. But after a while, we picked up, and we got that momentum, and then everything went really fast. and yeah, of course we experienced some yeah growing problems with that, of course, because when you start to scale at first, yeah, you're experiencing problems that you think that are small problems, but when you're scaling, those small problems become really big problems. So we learned a lot from that, and that's why we're also with Speed Fulfill now, because we were with a different supplier before, and we're still there. But what we learned is to work with multiple parties, like to compare them between each other, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like you guys know that too, and it's just you really can compare anything with anyone to keep each other sharp, and I think that would be a major tip for a lot of dropshippers. Just explore every opportunity there is. So when you are in trouble, you have multiple solutions. You're not dependent on one thing. And yeah, of course, then we joined Speed Fulfill, and we were very happy with the collaboration. And yeah, like I said, we can just compare multiple suppliers and multiple prices now, and that's really that's has been really good for our own business, just to compare and yeah, have more options.
That's a great perspective that you introduced, Luke. I think we had this conversation before at some point. When you are in this space, there's a lot of competitiveness, and as Speed Fulfill, I think we actually welcome competition, because when you're confident about what you can do and what service you provide, at the end of the day, it's only making the space get much better. It's making the space have better pricing, better quality, and also better after sales service. And we had a joke the other time. We thought suppliers don't need to feel like they're having a one night stand with
No.
with dropshippers,
Yeah.
because if they feel that way, that it's a one time thing, and somebody goes and uses the next supplier, then the supplier needs to have confidence.
Yeah.
And one thing that we noticed in the supply chain is that at the end of the day, you have private suppliers, and then you have let's say, I would say, medium-sized suppliers, and then you have the mega or large-scale suppliers, like the CJs of this world.
Yeah.
So we would classify ourselves as medium-sized, but right now a lot of smaller personal agents aren't able to sustain scaling, because the smaller agents, they don't have enough systems, as you saw yesterday, or procedures, or sometimes enough manpower. And something, I like to talk about the logistics supply
Yeah.
chain a lot, and something in the Chinese space, supplier space, that we see, and from your experiences, sometimes sugarcoating or over-promising is a very
Yeah.
common thing. And that's one thing that we try to relate with the business culture of Europe, European clients. And I think European clients love to be direct. I think we can share more insight on that. European clients tend not to have information sugar coated. Of course, in the supply chain, you can have something go wrong. But what happened with inexperienced suppliers, and basically in the space, is that they are sometimes seen as not being honest, but most of the times they're scared about their reaction. But if a product is out of stock, for example, today, you might as well tell the customer or the dropshipper today, so that they can make a plan and find a solution to inform their customers beforehand, rather than wait a week to get that information.
Yeah. Yeah. You're totally right. Totally right. Because what you're saying is what we experience too. It's like when you sugarcoat things, then you think things are going well, but in reality they aren't.
Exactly.
And when things are not going well, yeah, that maybe that's a problem. But if there's a problem, there's always a solution. So it's not like the world's ending, but please tell if there's a problem, so everybody can handle the problem. And I think that's really important. And I really agree with you. That's the big difference between an experienced supplier and an inexperienced supplier, because there's just culture differences
Yep.
between China and the European countries.
Yep.
And we, like you said, we are really used to direct direct communication.
Yeah,
Like, this is what it is. This
exactly.
is what's gonna happen. This is what needs to be done. And when something's not going okay, that's also fine. But please tell, so
Tell
so we know.
exactly.
And I think, yeah, we have tackled speed fulfill. Of course, we've tackled that now, and that's amazing. And I think, yeah, that's something you really need um, to learn first, and after that you can really build further on that. And it's really nice that we figured things like that. We figured everything out now.
Yeah. So, a lot of times, a good point. When some problems happen in the supply chain or in any business, it's not like the world ends. Strong points in entrepreneurship is finding solutions to those issues. And I recall one thing in the beginning of Speed Fulfill that used to happen. If something or product broke was damaged in transit, it's not like the longer you take to inform the customer, like it will all of a sudden be um it will all of a sudden be back in peace.
No.
It's broken and
Yeah.
it'll be broken
Yeah.
forever.
Better
Exactly.
better
You
tell
only
it directly.
exactly. So you can only find a solution for it. It's
Yeah.
not gonna magically reform when
No.
it gets there.
No.
Yeah. So that's great. Luke, as a drop shipper, you guys, like you said, I'm glad you guys started, from TikTok and evolving and, using very good courses and getting to this stage, and really, really impressive for you guys, you and Herman and your partner, coming over to China and getting industry secrets.
Yeah.
What challenges are there for drop shippers out there that you can relate to and share out?
I think most of the challenges are keeping your customers happy, and that's really easy said, but it's really hard to do, especially because when you're drop shipping, in fact, you're selling the product, and the product is directly sourced from China. So the product just takes it takes like 7 to 10 days to arrive to the customer, and that's not a problem. But you need to really inform your customer about the shipment, and manage the expectations of the customers. Like, don't put on your website, when you order now, I'll send it out tomorrow, because that's what a lot of dropshippers do. When you order now, I'll send it out tomorrow, and that's true, because when you order, you
It's
see it's being sent out. But what you're creating is an expectation that the product will be the product will be in like three days or something, and that's just not gonna happen. And yeah, I think when you manage expectations of your customers, it's yeah, that's a really important thing to do, just to keep them happy. Because when you have customers that are not happy, you will get complaints, you will get chargebacks and things like that. And then when you think you are advertising and you have a nice ROAS, and you get all those chargebacks and things like that, then everything, all your profits, you just see vanishing. So you don't want that. And what problems that occurred more for us is we really learned the hard way how important it is to do quality checks and things like that. Because when you're drop shipping, you're testing a lot of products. And what product testing means is you're advertising for a product, and you're looking if people want to buy it for the price that you have put it on your website for. And you're looking for winners, and then winners is just a product that's selling like crazy. But once you got that winner, you're so happy because everything is going well and you're selling a lot. But when the product arrives sometimes and you didn't do the quality check, and sometimes after 10 days when the first product arrives, or 7 days, then it seems to be that the product is from a whole different kind of quality than the pictures are that are on your website. So
It's like that what you ordered on Instagram and the reality.
yeah,
Just-
yeah. But you don't want your customers to make a video like that about your products. So it's really important to once you have done a few orders of a particular product, to request physical photos of the picture and a video if it's possible. And of course, when you guys get the product inside the warehouse, most of the time you offer yourself for the to make the photo of or the video, because it's just really important to know what the quality is. And once again, when the quality is not what's on your website, yeah, that's a problem. But again, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
You can either way make sure you find a different factory to deliver the products that are of the quality that you have on your website, or you just adjust the pictures on your website to manage the expectations of the customers.
That's well said. I like pretty much managing expectations. It's sounds so simple, but it's one of the hardest things
Yeah.
for the whole service, because we work together to give the end customer the best possible service at the end of the day. And
But I agree, it's a collaboration. You work together to get the product to the customer, and once you everybody wants the product to arrive on time and in good quality.
Exactly.
Because when that happens, everybody's making money and everybody's happy.
yeah,
And what we see a lot in when problems occur, dropshippers, they get mad on suppliers, or they get mad on their own customers. I think you should never do that. But when you get mad on a supplier, or you get mad or frustrated or angry or things like that, yeah, I don't really think that's fair, because at the end of the day, the goal is to get the product to the customer.
yeah.
And when you get angry or frustrated and you switch your supplier or things like that, you're not gonna get those orders to your customer sooner or something, because
Exactly.
every company has things that you don't like about it, but you better deal with that
Exactly.
and communicate really well with your supplier. And like the communication we have is just making really sure everything is communicated well, so there's just very very little room for mistakes. And when you have that, I think dropshipping is
Yeah.
very simple.
Made easy. Yeah.
Yeah, but when communication is not that well,
Then
then
it's a different story.
yeah, and I think you're responsible for that yourself, and of course you guys are responsible for that too. But I think when you as a dropshipper take the responsibility for yourself for 100%, and the supplier also thinks that way, then you have the best collaboration.
Exactly.
Because there will be no tasks that that I think you will take care of and you think I will take care of, and it's not gonna happen. So I think it's really important just to take your own responsibility for the task, because at the end of the day, the customer, they don't care if you agreed something with your supplier or not. The customer cares if the product
It's good.
arrives
Yeah,
on time.
exactly. They don't know about the relationship with the supplier. All they want to see is a good collaboration and the product arriving. And I like what you said about managing expectations, because you want to manage expectations and not surprise the customer.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to surprise the customer in a good way, but you don't want to have something. I like what you said. You mentioned on your store, and then you're gonna receive this in a day, and after customer actually going to receive that in 7-10 days, as drop shipping currently is. And there's something I learned about a year or 2 years ago. Because in the beginning, we've also grown as well at Speed Fulfill and tried to improve the customer experience and be as realistic and be on this. It's important to be on the same side as the dropshipper. Is something that they use in the airline industry, I heard. So what happens is sometimes, or most of the time, if you guys flew over from Amsterdam yesterday,
Yeah.
and the airline is going to give you a certain flight hour or flight time. So that flight time would be, say, 10 hours. That would be on your flight ticket. But in actual reality, what they do is they are giving you the maximum time that it would take for your plane to arrive at the destination. So what that does for the psychology of the customer is when you arrive earlier, you kind of feel kind of euphoria that that plane actually was faster. So I'm not sure what the rule is called, but I know it's used in the airline industry, and we actually implemented it as well at Speed Fulfill just to manage expectations. A good example of how we use it is a lot of shipping times are always ranges.
Yeah.
And with these ranges, sometimes in the beginning we used to feel embarrassed to to tell customers that it might actually, delay by a day or two. And what we noticed is that if you put that maximum uh, expectation, whenever it arrives early, actually the customer actually gets a little bit more satisfied. So that's actually some of the some of the things that we've been implementing as well, just to try to manage expectations, and especially in a space like the supply chain where everything goes, especially how
Yeah.
quarter 4 is.
Yeah, of course, but when you know something's delayed, you also can inform your customer about that.
Exactly.
Just make an email flow like we're having trouble with shipment, things like that.
Exactly.
It's very busy, and when customers get an email like that, they understand. And if they don't understand, that's okay. But they, you just try to inform them beforehand before
Exactly.
they get they get
Very
complaining.
important. Very important. I think communication is one thing that I think Speed Fulfill was brought onto the table and has really changed the game. I think a lot of people in the space are hearing about how we communicate with our clients.
And the app,
Yeah, and the
of
app
course.
as well. Yeah. Because whenever you have a problem, we are the first people to notify you. We have systems and account managers that let you know about delays. It could be about stock quantities as well. It could be about after sales. And I think with after sales, you have, especially the European markets, you have situations where products are delivered by the supplier, but the customer hasn't picked up their package at the pickup point, and how to deal with those systems. And I know we've worked hand in hand to make systems like that help customers to actually follow up on their orders, because sometimes
Yeah.
customers don't see that they have a package, right?
No,
Tell
then
me
the
how it
package.
is.
Yeah, then the package has arrived, and the customer wasn't home, and then the package will be delivered at the post office or a supermarket or things like that. At least that's how it happens in the Netherlands, and they should be notified, but sometimes they don't see the message in their mailbox, or they don't see the email they got from the delivery company. And when that happens, and it's longer than a week or like let's say 10 days, the product gets shipped back to the warehouse, and the customer is, and most of the time the customer is emailing after it's got sent back,
Yeah,
and yeah, what's happening then?
that's quite a big loss. We talked about it
Yeah,
yesterday.
that's
After
that.
sales,
Yeah,
something that is an unnecessary and easy to fix problem, and an unnecessary loss
Yeah,
to the
because
business.
you made the advertising cost for your product, you made the shipping cost, and you bought the product, and now it's got sent out to the warehouse. So, and the customer is still expecting their product, so you need to send it out again. And most of the time, yeah, that's just, it's killing for your profits.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. But of course, what we made now is we made an automatic system that gets notified when that notifies the dropshipper or the team when there are packages in the post office. So you as a dropshipper can notify your customer, and we notify pretty aggressive. We notify like 3 times every day, a follow up. So when a customer will ask where is my package, like we can show them we emailed you 3 times.
And you didn't
Yeah,
pick
and you
up,
didn't
yeah.
pick it up, so it's sent back now. So we have to charge extra cost for that, and most of the times they think that's fair to try, because they weren't paying attention, and they got 3 emails and they didn't see it, and now they have to pay an extra charge for the extra shipment.
Yeah, I think a lot of points that you brought up here. We had the conversation the other day that this is 2024. This is
Yeah.
not like drop shipping back in 2017, where it was the wild west.
Yeah.
After sales wasn't a big issue. All the drop ship had to care about was I advertise my product and ship it out. And I think one thing that we do with Speed Fulfill is go with the trends. And we know that for a supplier to be successful, you need to have a strong after sales service. How are you dealing with customers' products after they've been shipped out? How do you notify? How do you make sure that you don't get your margins eaten by losses due to unnecessary refunds?
Yeah, but this is the whole problem in dropshipping, because you can make profit. It's really profitable
Yeah.
if you do everything right.
Yeah.
Because the profit's there you only you need to make sure that you don't lose it in unnecessary things.
Yeah, if you make the money, I mean, you're just back to zero at the end of the day. Like you
Yeah,
made the money and you lose the money at the same time, and
you're pumping money around, and I
exactly.
think that's happening a lot.
It
Yeah.
is, because I think that's one of the questions with the popular question: is dropshipping dead? A lot of people, dropshipping is like a lot of people say dropshipping is alive and well, but I think the dead perspective comes in: is it profitable?
I
Yeah.
think lazy dropshipping is dead.
Yeah, lazy. Yeah, but like 2017, like the shitty websites and people. And I think also another point is people are now aware, like the actual customer base is aware about dropshipping,
Yes.
and they're also shopping as well, and they know. And as long as, of course, you differentiate yourself, and I think once you have a good after sales service and you implement systems, I think dropshippers can save a lot of money working with a strong supplier as well. This is one thing that we're doing. We're trying to make dropshippers save money as well.
Yeah,
You
of
know,
course. And I think dropshipping is alive and well if you have the right systems and if you're on top of everything that's happening.
exactly.
And if you're not doing that, then you're not making money. But if you have everything in the right place, then you're making money. And what I also think is that's happening more and more is drop shipping, but branded drop shipping.
Yeah.
Because when you have your own brand, when you build your brand around a product, it's easier for customers to come back. So you have returning customers, and you increase the lifetime value of the customer, and then that way you can uh, advertise for more because advertising is getting more expensive and expensive, and CPAs are getting higher. But if you have a higher lifetime value of a customer, then you can spend more money on the first sale, and then you have an edge
On
on the people that need to make the money uh, right after the first sale.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think branding is a more sustainable way of drop shipping, because we had this conversation the other day. I think the honest fact, I think, to the e-commerce community or drop shipping community is that it's really hard to get returning customers in drop
Yeah,
shipping. We see it from the back end of the supply chain. Drop shipping stores, I think in general, the lifespan of drop shipping stores is it's no longer as long as 2017. Most dropshipping stores would last 3 to 6 months, and it's actually getting shorter. And a lot of options, and I think you talk about it shortly, is going into branded or more sustainable drop shipping, which actually means you get returning customers, and your ad spend is actually giving you better returns, because over time you're advertising the same customer but cheaper, as they keep their customer loyalty as well.
yeah.
So yeah, and then the question that I had now is regarding branding. We had some good conversations at dinner yesterday. You guys are here in China. What are your goals? What do you want to establish? And tell us more about your plans of visiting China.
Well, we have multiple things why we're here. Of course, what we think. Like dropshipping is international business, right? Because you're having contact with all people around the world. We have Philippine people working for us. They are doing all the customer service and order management, and they make our product pages and things like that. And of course, we're buying the products out of China. We're having contact with you, and but it's really nice on paper, international business, but in reality, you're just behind your laptop, contacting everyone and talking to no one. And we wanted to really experience that international aspect. So we wanted to come here and meet you guys that we're doing business with. Because back in the day, when you were doing business with someone, you would always
Yeah,
meet the
exactly.
person you're doing business with. And yeah, we really think that's a nice aspect of doing. And it's also building the better relationships, right?
Exactly.
Because when you have the better relationship, you can also you have different things. You have an edge. If you
Yeah.
have problems,
Yes.
people know you, and yeah, that's the main goal. And yeah, we are of course, in China for a product research XL.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a new way of product research. To
Yeah.
just see, because we're gonna
Yeah.
visit some factories today.
They say get it from the source.
Yeah, yeah, because everybody knows what's going out of the ports and things like that.
Yeah.
Because this is not our only stop, and we will see more and more. And yeah, we're really excited to see all those products and things like that. Because yeah, maybe you're just front running the rest of the
Yeah, exactly.
of the drop shippers.
You're on top of the situation, I guess. Getting the product research XX,
Yeah.
and the VIP service, and you're ahead of the game. And I think this is a big advantage. I think we had a discussion like in business culture in China, meeting our team. Relationships is very key, and you're definitely doing the right thing. I've mentioned to you, getting personal relationships with the people who actually make the decisions, or the factory. You're talking to factory owners yesterday. That's one thing we need to talk about. We had a dinner with some of Bruce's actual networks as well, and there was a lot of insights. And getting ahead of the game is a really good idea. I think you're gonna succeed for sure. Because these personal relationships is what builds businesses, and like you said, you get the edge. You get because just to go deeper, especially I think from the European background, Europe has a lot of regulations, and in China, especially with doing business, of course, there's regulations, but there's I would understand there's a little bit more ways around things,
Yeah.
and those little tweaks allow people in these positions, the people that you're going to meet in China, to give you these positions even when you go back, and these are like lifetime memberships.
Yeah.
They're not just like you said, an over the Zoom call, or over the a text or an SMS.
But
on
you can have
WhatsApp.
that with everybody every day, and once you shook someone's hand, and you looked into in the eye, you really have a feeling about the person.
Exactly.
If it's a good
That's
feeling
actually
or not a
true.
good feeling.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
That's actually very true. You have the feeling just from the get go.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really interesting. And one of the conversations we had with the factory about getting on top of the game, I think we learned something on the slippers factory. Remember, one of the topics on the table was, it's a very popular, we'll call it a winning product, X. So this winning product made by the factory, it's a type of slipper, and it's a special type, and it has its special benefits, right? And something that we're working on. And one thing caught my attention is that the factory owner said, this product actually first goes viral in China.
Yeah.
That's actually, and he says these products years later may go viral outside.
Yeah.
Which means you get an edge if you come here early.
Yeah, of course, because he's just notifying you with, maybe this will be the next winning product in Europe. And yeah, like he said, because I I agreed with him, because the slippers they were producing and selling in China 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They were selling like crazy last year in Europe. Like, you saw ads everywhere of that type of slipper, and he told us, yeah, that's just a product from 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Over here, so
Nothing big.
nothing big. No, but that's really nice to see.
Yeah. No, I think it's really good that you and Herman are here on top of the game, and gonna get some lifetime relationships. I think that's gonna be perfect.
Yeah, and of course it's the same with if you want to start with the branding and things like that. We were yesterday with the factory owner. Everything, all possibilities will be are talked about and things like that. And it's just, when you need to do everything like that by yourself, and designing everything by yourself, sometimes it's really hard. When you have a sourcing company or a fulfillment company like Speed Fulfill, they can help you and assist you with everything.
Exactly.
Because it's so much more than ordering and sending out.
Exactly. And yesterday it was funny enough when you came to visit the office. I mean, we won't say the name, but you saw a big brand that you actually saw in the Netherlands, and you were surprised that we were actually the ones fulfilling it. So that's
we saw it everywhere. We saw it everywhere.
Yeah, it was this specific brand. They had their logo, and it was right there. And
the custom packaging, of course.
Custom packaging. Yeah, so custom packaging that's one thing, one direction that I think we're doing really well, and paying attention to detail, putting in systems and automations that allow us to give customizations, because that's what differentiates drop shipping from the rest, and that's how you get your return customers. So yeah, the branding process, starting from design, and our communication as well. We can hop on a Zoom call, of course, and then using that design, give this feedback back to factory, talk about the colors that you want, the font size, the position, the kind of packaging that you want, and then see how we can actually collaborate with this factory. And there's so much, I think, that can be done in the branding space. You have your thank you cards, your stickers. I think in the future we're gonna offer even like green packaging. That's becoming very popular as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so
everything for the climate.
everything for the
and that's also really is something that sells really well. Of course.
Exactly. So yeah, branding is, I think, something that's strong as well. We have it on our application, by the way. I think you've seen we have a branding section.
Yeah, that's also a really nice nice thing if to put in your customer service email. A lot of dropshippers do that, I know. Because of the climate, we don't have a warehouse in Europe, because we don't want to send unnecessary products to a warehouse. So that's why we source it directly from China, and that's why our shipment times take longer.
Okay, that's actually a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's a good one. That's a secret that you can share with us right now. That's a really interesting one. Yeah. So it actually, it's a win-win, for the customer, and it goes to managing expectations. Actually.
Yeah.
Have you used that trick before in the book?
Yes, we did. But if I were a starting dropshipper now, and I'm not selling anything yet, or if I'm a medium dropshipper and I'm selling, or I'm a big dropshipper, what type of dropshippers do you guys offer services to? To everyone, or is there a limit, minimum order quantity a day? What type of people are eligible to work with Speed Fulfill?
That's a good question. Speed Fulfill is we look at ourselves as a drop shipping scaling solution. So who is eligible to be, or a customer who suits our service? I think suitable for our service, or eligible for our service, is customers who actually at least are past the testing phase or are going during the testing phase. So this way you get the best customer experience, because with the testing phase, a lot of customers would try to test one piece, and I'm not the biggest hater of AliExpress. I think AliExpress does its thing for the testing phase, and if you're below 10 orders, that's 1 to 10 orders, AliExpress is a good testing space. You get your best pricing, you get a good pricing, you don't get the best shipping times, but it's easy for you to see what is the reaction from the customer base.
Yeah.
Once you're done testing and knowing this is the product that you want to sell, then you can move on and now find a private supplier. And Speed Fulfill is a good option, because once we know that you have a concept that is doing really well, then we can scale it even further than AliExpress. So with scaling, what happens is, because we already know if you're selling one SKU, or even if it's multiple SKUs, then we now can get you better pricing, because we're now able to build a relationship, because you're also getting numbers of orders from the same product. And then we now offer what other AliExpress and other companies don't offer now, which is a one-on-one service. Now this one-on-one service allows you to pay attention to details, get information or feedback about after sales, about customization, about daily tasks that are going on, and so that you can concentrate mostly on scaling. So now the answer is, I think we definitely suit customers who have at least orders. So if you have some orders, that would be perfect, or customers who have the desire. I've seen customers that as well, if you have the desire and you are willing to put in the work, I think you're an eligible dropshipper to do it.
That's the most important thing, of course. That's the most important.
That's the most important, yeah. And that's a good question. And over the years, I think I think we've tried to make scaling like our biggest goal, like make you scale to the moon.
Yeah, of course. And I think you really need a reliable partner for that, because if you don't have that, and you're scaling with selling, but you're not scaling with the quality products that you want. That, yeah, things go south really well, really fast,
Yeah.
and you don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want that at all. Yeah. No, that's gonna be that's great. And then so that's great. And I think one last question before we leave. I was actually gonna ask you a question. What would you actually do if you were sent back to your early 20s? And then
Yeah.
I realized you are in your early 20s.
Yeah.
So unlike
I think I would go on a plane and and go to China.
exactly.
So far, so good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really nice to be here and see everything. It's just way bigger than what I'm used to. It's just like the roads, they're so big, and the buildings, they are so high. You really see China is growing so rapidly because between all the skyscrapers and things like that, you also see the older buildings with you can really see where everything came from and where everything is going, and sky is the limit.
The sky is the
Yeah.
sky is the limit. No, I think
Yeah.
that's a good conclusion. I think we had a conversation yesterday, and we we're just going at like a saying that me and you have now is
Yeah.
that the China you don't see on TV.
Yeah.
Really, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. All the things on TV about all the tension and things
Yeah.
like that. What we're experiencing is just so different.
It's super.
And all the
different.
people are so nice.
Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I think it's a very good and great culture, welcoming. I think we saw some. Of course, every culture has like we had a conversation. Every culture has its speciality. There's no right and wrong, and we just have to
Yeah.
embrace different cultures. And Chinese, like the round table we had at the
Yeah.
dinner yesterday.
Yeah.
And all the seafood that Herman was allergic to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bit different food over here
Yeah.
than we're used to.
Yeah,
No, but we really had a great time. So
that's
that's the
really
most
great.
important thing.
Yeah.
And if I'm a starting dropshipper and I do want to join Speed Fulfill, where do I go to?
That's a good question. So Speed Fulfill, main place of course is www.speedfulfill. So speedfulfill.com.
Yeah.
So once you get to speedfulfill.com, you can register an account with us.
Yeah.
And it's a free subscription, and you can get in touch with our customer support. So that's the main contact for us. And I think once you get on our website, have a look, scroll through, and
Everything is really
Exactly.
It's pointing to itself.
And also for our YouTube viewers, we're gonna put it in the link, right?
Yeah, of course.
We're gonna put it in the link.
And that's something that I almost forget, and I really want to say that's you really see that the e-com space is really changing, because even like you guys being a supplier and a fulfillment company, your guys are very active on social media now and giving tips to starting dropshippers about how to handle things. And it's more than only sourcing the product and sending it out. It's really a service-based company.
It is. I think thanks for that. I mean, we're trying to grow on social media because I think you've been giving us tips as well. We want to give value out to the customer, and let the customer have their opinion on different suppliers. And at the end of the day, connecting with the customer through social media is one of the best ways for us to reach out and show that we're human as we can meet today. That's the
people behind the screen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a great podcast, Luke.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for your time. And the China you don't see on TV.
Yes.